If you're doing something because you really want to and your personality shines through, then that's going to be good enough to learn and figure it out. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, April 16th. It is day 16 of Plan As You Go, where I show how I use my bullet journal, my Erin Condren, and my power sheets in tandem for an entire month. I have a busy morning. My day is actually not that busy. I have a lot of work to get done, but I don't have a lot of appointments today except for this morning. So I'm going to be answering some questions, doing some planning. You know the drill. That's just the way things work around here. All right, so I did my habits yesterday, but that was the only thing off of my power sheets. Today, I am going to be doing some work for next month. I don't think I'm going to spend a lot of time on the receipt system, the Go Wild present, the things I know I want to work on this week, because I need to get caught up. I'm a little underwater on some of the work I'm supposed to be doing this week. So I need to spend time today doing that and not focusing on all of these so much. You know what I can do today, though, looking at my spring declutter checklist? I could probably do under my sink. I need to wash my towels today. It's something I've needed to do pretty much for a while now. I was supposed to do my towels this weekend and I haven't gotten around to it, which is kind of gross, but they're not super nasty. I usually change them out twice a week, so whatever. While I do that, I can quickly handle. I don't think doing under my sink in the bathroom because it's tiny. We have like a miniature sink cabinet because our bathroom is basically the size of a closet. I could probably get that done in maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe I'll try and do that today. So I will put that in my planner. I'm sorry if I sound extra nasally today. I'm allergenic. My allergies are kicking my ass this morning. So looking here, I've got a phone call very soon. I have to send an email. I have to do some filming. I need to send my book club email. And then I need to do some catch-up work. So I'm just going to put catch up. And then I'm also going to put in do under the sink and wash towels. Let's see if I can fit that all in here. So it's going to be a day where I don't have to go a lot of places, but I'm going to be busy at home, kind of bouncing from project to project. I don't think it's going to be a day where I sit and do any real deep work kind of on one project, if that makes sense. I'm also going to be answering some questions today. The first one is from Putty Tap Purr, who said, what camera do you use? I can't find it in my description or Amazon shop. Well, now it is in my shop, so go ahead and check it out. The camera I'm currently using is the Canon G7X Mark II. It's like meant to be like a vlogging camera, and it's great because it has the flip screen and it's really small and portable. I was using my phone for the longest time. I have an 8 Plus, which is a really nice camera, iPhone 8 Plus, but it got to a point where I had to put it on like airplane mode to be able to film and not get interrupted by phone calls. And I've had a lot of phone calls from the school this year for various reasons, stuff we're not going to really get into right now. I realized I don't want my phone occupied by filming. Plus, when I've tried vlogging with my phone, I've dropped it. And so having a camera with a wrist strap has been much less stressful in that sense. The biggest downfall to this camera is that it doesn't have an output for an external mic. I'm filming now using my podcast microphone, but when I'm out vlogging, I just have to go with the mic that it has, and that can cause some sound problems. But I really like it. It's been very handy for me, and I am very glad that I purchased it. I don't think I've had anything else get added in for the rest of the week that I know of off the top of my head. If I'm wrong about that, I'll be paying for it later. So I'm going to set this to the side, keep it open so I can keep an eye on my priorities and get into my bullet journal. Erica Ellen asked me, I love my bullet journal and planner, but I also know I love to journal. In general, do I use my Bujo for journaling, free writing, or brain dumping, or is it strictly to have organized as well as creative things? And do I think I'll be going back to habit tracking? I don't do a lot of journaling in my bullet journal. It's just not what I use it for. I have other notebooks I'll use for journaling, which I don't do very often. The funny thing is, this is going to sound weird as fuck. I feel like my podcast is starting to morph into an audio journal in some ways. I don't know, man. So I did not take a painkiller last night. Woo! Is that the right color? I don't think that's the right color. Damn it. I'm losing my shit. I don't really use it for that, but I know other people who do. And I think, as per usual, you use it how you want to use it. Use it how it works for you, regardless of what other people are doing. I do brain dump in it occasionally, but more often I will grab a scrap piece of paper and brain dump and then reorganize my thoughts in my bullet journal. So there are times where like it looks like this. Let me see if I can find a good example here. Where it looks like kind of like this, or like this, where it's notes. But then there's other times where like Here's another one, like brain dumping ideas. And it just depends. Other times I've done it on Post-its. I just do whatever feels right in the moment. Just kind of my motto, like my planner motto in the first place, you know. Today's doodle is Princess Mindy from SpongeBob. As for habit tracking, I've been doing it kind of in my power sheets. I don't know if I'm going to go back to doing it in my bullet journal or not, because I feel like it wasn't helping me as much as I had hoped it would help me. I'm not sure though. Never say never. Let's move to my lettering for the day, which is barrel eye fish. I have another question from Caroline. She said, this is a super personal question, but my best friend recently told me she's transferring colleges and I do basically everything with her. Do you have any advice for one, make sure we stay in touch and stay as close as we are? Two, any advice to help me get back out there and make new friendships when it's usually hard for me to become super close with someone? And three, deal with the loss of not having her there for the first few months. Okay, I'm going to do my best with this. I don't know if I'm the most qualified person to answer it, but I will give you my best advice. All right, so for the first part, staying close. You know, that's going to not just be something that you do, but something that she does. So you guys have to both be invested in it. I don't get to see my sisters very often at all. You know, one of them lives 8 hours away from me. The other one lives a couple hours away, but we both have kids and they're in activities, and it's just difficult to get together as often as we would like. Same with my uncle. And our best method of staying in contact is we have a group chat going all the time, like a constant group chat. There's generally a day doesn't pass where one of us isn't sharing something going on in our life in that group chat, but it just gives us an ongoing it just has become sort of a coffee chat from us to be able to update each other on big and small things. And that's immensely helpful. And staying in touch. And then, like, my sister and I will probably talk on the phone at least once a week. I hate talking on the phone. Talking to my sister is one of the few times I'm okay talking on the phone. And when I do talk to my sister on the phone, it's very rare that our phone calls last less than an hour, if not more. So I would suggest prioritizing with your friend a time that you could both be on the phone, like a weekly phone call, maybe a time where you might both, like, be sitting down with like a glass of wine or something, just hanging out, like a time you both have is like like an appointment, you know, every week, whether it's a video call or just a phone call, making it on your schedule so that you both stick to it, and then utilizing text messages or group chats or whatever, Facebook Messenger, to talk every day the same way you would, like when you would have told her something if she had been there. Tell it to her that way. The second question you had was any advice to help me get back out there and make new friendships. That's hard for me. I'm not great at that. My biggest suggestion would be to look for friends of mutual interest. Look on meetup.com, look on Facebook, look on whatever college situations you have that like advertise like clubs or things like that, things that you're really interested in. Go to those and be open-minded to meeting new people that share similar interests to you. It's probably your best chance to find somebody that's a new friend. But like I said, I'm not great at this. You're lucky that you're in college, and college affords a lot of opportunities to meet people, more so than when you get a little bit older. You just have to have the like scones to put yourself out there. And then finally, dealing with the loss of not having her there for the first few months. That's going to be hard. I would suggest you find some things you love to do that are just for you. Like doing things. By the way, I'm going to be checking this off while I'm talking. Can I check anything off? I don't think I can check anything off. Well, never mind then. So, yeah, I didn't do as much yesterday as I wanted to do. Let's just put it that way. You know, think about things that you like to do. For me, as an example, when I was in college, one of the things I loved to do was go to the movies by myself, because I loved horror movies and none of my roommates ever wanted to go to horror movies with me. So I actually became very comfortable going to the movies by myself, treating myself to popcorn, going for a walk to the movies instead of driving, and not being like embarrassed to be by myself, but to actually relish the fact that I was just there for me. So taking yourself out to lunch or to sushi or something you like, or getting your nails done, or getting a massage, or, you know, just sitting at home with your favorite snack, watching whatever show you want. Things that you can do that make you happy, that you're perfectly fine being happy with on your own. Make a list of those things and make it a point every time you feel lonely to find one of those things on your list that make you happy by yourself, and do one of those when you start feeling like sad. but also be okay feeling sad, because there is a certain level of grief here. You know, you're going to be separated physically from a friend of yours. And while it's not gone forever, it's just gone from your proximity. And it's okay to grieve that. It is okay to feel that. Just make sure that you're making time for yourself to do things that make you happy, to keep you on the level. I hope that helped. I'm not, like I said, I'm not great at, this is not one of my subjects I feel super strong on. So, you know. Anyway, and then my final question is from Phoenix Plans, who said, how did you start out? How did you get over the initial fear or hump and finally do videos? Your videos are so unique to others in this niche market, and I am inspired by you to do similar things, especially being a person with a medical disability. What advice do you have for me? I find myself so nervous that I'm putting off starting. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me. Oh, you're very welcome. Here's my advice. Just start. There's all sorts of advice out in the market for how to, choose your niche and get a schedule and all those things for YouTube. But ultimately, you got to just start, because you're going to suck when you start. You're going to suck. And that's okay, because the more you do it, the better you will get. You're never going to get better if you don't actually try. If you're doing something because you really want to and your personality shines through, then that's going to be good enough to learn and figure it out. So that's my first advice. Just start. Just start, if that's something you want to do. Secondly, think about who it is you want to be talking to. When I started making videos, part of the reason I continued to make videos was because I didn't see other people in the lettering or planner world on YouTube who I resonated with. It wasn't that I didn't like them. I just, they were all younger than me, or they were all more clean and sanitized. They didn't drop the F-bomb. There were a lot of reasons. They didn't show their mistakes. There were a lot of reasons I started making videos. But the person I was talking to was someone like me. Not necessarily someone who was 39 or whatever age I was when I started with kids, but somebody who was watching videos and felt like they didn't fit into this community because they didn't see themselves reflected. And I knew I couldn't be everything. I'm not a woman of color, as an example. But I knew that if I could talk to the people who also were feeling like they weren't connecting with the stuff they were seeing, but they might be able to connect with me, then I would feel good. So that made it so that when I talk to the camera, and I hope you notice this now, when I talk to the camera, I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to a camera. I'm talking to those of you watching. I'm talking to you, Phoenix Plans. I am having a conversation with you, and that makes it a lot easier to film, because it feels like you're actually having a conversation with someone. You're not talking to a camera and being on camera. So think about who it is that you want to be talking to, and then turn on the camera and talk to them. And don't worry about sucking. If you feel like you have something that somebody else might want to hear, just make the video and start making them. It's the best way to get over the fear, because they're never going to see it if you don't make it. If I can get through everything on this list, so tomorrow when you see the next video, if I've gotten through everything on this list, I'm going to feel so goddamn good about myself. I'm just saying, that'll feel nice. That'll bring me a little bit closer to where I need to be today. For today's question of the day, I would like to throw it back to Caroline's question about how you stay in touch with somebody who you are super close to maintain that relationship, and how you deal when somebody that you love or somebody who is a really good friend moves away or leaves your life somehow, and you have to deal with the loss of them every day. I'd love for you to give some advice to Caroline, because I worry that the advice I gave was not good enough, not because I think I suck, but because I haven't been in that situation very often, so I don't have a lot of life experience to pull on. But I bet a lot of you in the comments do. So dealing with the loss of a friend, whether through moving or through something else, how do you manage that? How do you manage long-distance friend relationships? Give us all your advice in the comments below. Or if you're like Caroline and you're in a situation and you need advice, you can give us a little bit more context, and maybe somebody will be able to give you a hand. And if you have any questions for me in my next video, please use the word question in your comments so I can find it. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in tomorrow's Plan As You Go video.